okay?
Yep. Okay, so for my presentation, I had the Fairytale Puss in Boots, and my name is Maureen Hulick. Okay, so for my first character study, I did the cat, and I started out with the triangle shape just to show that he's kind of a cunning character, but I didn't really like the way it played out, so I ended up giving him just a circle for his body, and then the sharp edges for his ears, and I added boots and the sharp claws. Okay, and then I did the master, and I knew I wanted him to be off kilter because they said he was not in stable conditions, whether it was money-wise or where he was living, and so I wanted him to be not flat on the bottom, and so I just kind of developed it, and I added a patch to show that he is kind of poor. Okay, and then I did the king and princess character study, and my king is on the top, and I knew that I wanted them to be the same because they are family members, but I wanted the princess to stand out more with the jewels because they wanted to get the attention of the princess, the entire story, so that the master was better off at the end. Okay, so then I started out with my first slide, and this is where the cat brings the pigeons to the king. He also brought rabbits, but I decided that I wanted to pick the pigeons with the crescents. So I started out and I made the throne, and then I made kind of like a rug so that the cat was walking up and presenting the items to the king. And then I changed the color so it stood out a little bit more. Next one. And then I changed the sack so it looks more like a sack and not just a box. The next one. And then I added other details to the sack so it looks like you could close it. And this is my final scene one. Okay, so then scene 2 was when the cat had told the master to give him the lake to act as if he was drowning so that the king and princess would notice him. So I started out by making the lake with all these these ovals, and then the cat hiding behind where he takes his clothes to see it all play out. And then I put the king and princess in the carriage. Next, sorry. Okay, and then I wanted to show that the master was actually in the water, not just sitting on top of it. It wasn't a big black blob. And I outlined these to make them stand out a little bit more. And then I added a road to kind of add some dimension, like they weren't on the same plane. Next. Yeah. And then I added the crescents to make it look more like water, and this is my final scene too. Okay, and then so for my final scene 3, I wanted to show that the master ended up marrying the princess. So I changed his hat on top to a crown instead, like the king's. And I wanted to add in the castle, but I didn't like the way this looked with everything that played out. I tried to add in like a road to the castle, but it just didn't look right. So then I switched it so the castle was brought up more front. And I put them inside like the archway to show that it's their castle. And then I added in minor details just like windows. And in my next slide, I moved them down a little bit, and then I added the cat because they said that afterwards he was crowned as a lord. And that is my final scene 3. Okay, any questions? Mason.
In the one with the carriage, your carriage kind of just looks like a cloud.
Okay.
I mean, that's the impression I got at first, like it's just like they're going to be coming, so it kind of felt just like a thought bubble.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe emphasize, like, those are actually wheels. I mean, now when you added the road, it made a little more sense, but
Yeah.
I think if I just looked at it, I
Just
would.
outline them.
Yeah.
Okay. Any?
Carriages also need something to like hold on, so maybe like a wheelchair.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Because it looks like a car. Yeah.
Come on, let's move
Michael?
to see.
Your characters in scene 3, I like them. However, it looks like they're conjoined at the head.
Yeah, I wanted to show that they were like, he was kissing because
Okay.
they were married now, type of thing.
Okay.
So,
You change the angle of one of the
Okay.
crowns just a little bit
Mhm.
to show that
Yeah,
Shift
this
it
is,
over a
this
little
is
bit.
one of the problems with it not actually having heads, but you're gonna have to somehow do it with the bodies.
Okay,
Can you make the parallel smaller for the guy? Cause it's like on his corner thing,
okay.
so it's a little big for his
Or
corner.
just tilt it a little bit,
Yeah.
straighten it.
I feel like the water in scene two could have been, like there could have been more there.
And this one?
Yeah, like widen it.
Okay, so just add more waves.
No, like the puddle, like bring it over more to the side.
Oh, okay.
You know, there's something fun going on there, and I can't quite grasp it, maybe somebody else is. It's almost the fact that the cat's head is large and the pond looks like a puddle,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah.
But it's fun, all right, you know? One thing that I would say that there are a couple of minor tweaks, both in this one and the last one, that might just be a good idea. The way the path comes in there,
And scene two.
yeah, almost seems to, well, it leads our eye off the edges of the paper a little bit. And I'm wondering if you could arrange to move it down, the whole top portion down just a small amount. I mean,
Okay.
you may be talking about a ½ inch or something actually on your slide. And bring the bottom piece up to the point that something green overlaps that.
The road.
Yeah. Do
Okay.
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do, I understand.
Kind of bring them in from the corners, I guess is what I'm saying. Because otherwise your eye just kind of goes off like that's supposed to be cut off, and it is
Okay.
one scene.
Yeah.
Anybody else see a way that we could fix that or even understand what I'm talking about? I think that,
If you, on the left side of the slide, if you brought the road more kind of diagonally at an angle, it would kind of bring the two halves of the picture together more.
yeah, it will, but I think unless you overlap something
Yeah,
from the bottom part,
Yeah, I
Just
agree
to
with
make
that.
right,
also.
I agree.
Okay.
You know, so that otherwise it looks too much like a division on the slide.
Mhm.
Okay.
Then on the very last one, when the cat gets up in the turret,
Mm-hmm.
now there's something going on here that has to do, but just let's, look where you put your label. Okay?
Oh, in the castle. Oh, so it looks like another.
Well, I think what was happening there is your impulse was you were balancing out the composition in some way, okay? So you stuck it over there because you had the cat here. So cat's up here, you put this down here, balance the composition. I think it's just a subconscious thing probably that you did there. But I think what you need to do is to actually reposition the castle a little bit. It doesn't matter if we've only got half a turret
so there's only
leaning
one,
off there. Yeah, and then I put the final thing like maybe up in the top where it doesn't have to have a
Conflict.
white box around it.
Okay.
And then that way you will emphasize the characters better.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to stabilize the composition based on the castle itself.
Okay.
It's always interesting to me that you see a certain number of slides like this when we do this sort of thing where instinctively you've tried to balance a composition by moving a label. And that's what's happening there. If you get that label out of there, I think you'll see you have an urge to just move everything to the right a little bit.
Yeah.
Anything else? Good job, Morgan.